Director, considering that you have identified these people as, quote, government gangsters, will you recuse yourself from making any investigation decisions about these individuals?
Anyone that has been terminated at the FBI has been done so.
No, the question
again. Failed to meet the muster in their constitutional obligation.
I will work on the audio-visual capabilities.
I'm going to borrow your terminology and call bullshit on your entire career in Congress.
I'm reclaiming my time,
It has been a disgrace to the American people.
I'm reclaiming my time.
You can reclaim your time all you want.
Mr. Chairman, you're going to allow a witness to speak this way?
Now, I know one of the worst things for any conservative or American-loving person to listen to is the lies and the voices of Democrat radical socialists. But this video is deep because Eric Swalwell, the congressman from California, has been exposed once again, this time busted spending $360,000 to this, kind of nobody knows who he is, Haitian immigrant man. And so now the DOJ is investigating Eric Swalwell. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you clips of exactly what's going on, and I'm going to show you how Eric Swalwell was exposed before for putting the country at risk. But this time, or should I say that time, it was linked to China. Wait till you hear about Swalwell and his love affair with a Chinese spy. But as you see right here in this title, this article, it says documents emerge exposing Eric Swalwell's bizarre payments to Haitian staffer totaling over $360,000. So this Haitian immigrant has gotten $360,000 taxpayer dollars, and for what? Travel reimbursement, security, even flowers. But yet this individual has no security license whatsoever. So what's really going on? Now, here's the kicker with Eric Swalwell. This isn't the first time that he's been accused of doing something shady. I want you to listen to this clip of him when he was on the radio show, The Breakfast Club. And if you don't know, The Breakfast Club is the #1 urban radio show in the country. And you got the Democrats that go up there. They love to let Democrats come up there and boldface lie because the host, Charlemagne the Devil, and DJ Envy, they're both alleged Democrat supporters, even though they claim to be independents. But all they do is talk down on Trump, talk about how great Kamala Harris was, and yada, yada. So check out this clip of Eric Swalwell. And then what I'm going to follow it up with will blow your mind if you don't already know what happened. Check this out.
Did the Chinese spy scandal hurt your credibility, or did Republicans just weaponize like a nothing burger, so to speak?
The fact that the FBI and the House Ethics Committee said it was bullshit, like I would hope that would be enough, but like in a disinformation society, like I recognize that it's everyone on the right's favorite meme. My wife tells me all the time, you know what? The second they're not going after you, you're not effective. And so I wear it as a badge of honor that these guys would want to lie about me all the time, because I think it means that I'm landing punches politically on them that sting. And frankly, I think a lot of Republicans look at me as like, oh, that's a straight white Christian male son of a cop. Like everyone else like him looks like me. So when he comes at me, it's more betrayal to them.
Now, let me ask you a question. Now, you just heard Eric Swalwell, a Democrat from California, get up there and say a white Christian male. When have you ever seen or heard of Eric Swalwell talking about God, Jesus, of any kind? Matter of fact, when have you ever heard a Democrat, period, speak about Christ or speak about God, unless they're doing what he's doing, which is gaslighting the country, talking about Republicans look at him and attack him because he's a white Christian male? Name me one thing Christian about what Eric Swalwell and the Democrats stand up for. Is it destroying the life of an unborn child? Is it allowing grown men to go in bathrooms with little girls? Is it allowing little boys to get their private parts chopped off? But you just heard him just say, it was a lie. This never happened. I was cleared by the FBI. And guess which FBI head was doing the investigation? It was Christopher Wray under the Biden administration. Now, I want you to check this out. And this says, and this is from the Washington Wick, how Eric Swalwell's drinking problem led him into the arms of a Chinese spy. Now, this here is the Chinese spy lady. And her name is Fang Fang. Okay. And as you can see, this is Eric Swalwell kissing Fang Fang, who is a Chinese spy. Here's another picture of Eric Swalwell with his main thing. Isn't it crazy how Eric Swalwell was actually dating a Chinese spy and wasn't investigated for the Espionage Act under the Biden administration? But hold on, it gets deep. Now, you know it's bad when left-wing CNN brings it to you. Now, you just heard this man sit up there and say, oh, it's nothing. The Republicans attacking because of white Christian male. It's a nothing burger. Even the left were concerned about it, which is why this issue with this Haitian on top of the issue with him, it's not even alleged, having an affair with a documented Chinese spy is outrageous. But check this out.
Congressman, you were also removed by Republicans from the Intelligence Committee. What the Speaker said about you is that beginning in 2012, a suspected Chinese spy developed ties to you and to your office, even put an intern there, raised campaign funds for you. You say very clearly you cut off ties with this person back in 2015 when you found out you cooperated with the FBI. But the bottom line question is this: did you put yourself in a vulnerable position in any way so that this alleged Chinese spy could have benefited or even learn American secrets?
Absolutely not. But Dana, don't take my word for it. Take the FBI's word for it. They never talk about ongoing investigations. And former Chairman Schiff knows this as a member of the gang. 3 different times they came out and said 2 things. All I did was help them, and also I was never under any suspicion of wrongdoing.
Congressman, you were also...
That all is a bold-faced lie, but it's somewhat true because the Biden administration allegedly had sex tapes of Eric Swalwell and Fang Fang, and let it be known to him that if he didn't just always parrot the talking points and he ever stepped out of line, he could get spanked like Eric Adams did up in New York. Remember, Eric Adams was a darling until the moment he started exposing how the federal government wasn't providing New York with the money that they needed to take care of illegal immigrants. If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I will never ask you for a cash app or a super chat, but you hitting that like button, it helps a great deal get the video out. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And whether you're subscribed already or subscribing now, make sure you hit notification and select all, because YouTube has issues getting notifications out. But when you select all, YouTube will make sure that you get notified next time I upload new videos. Every time he spoke up like that, his house got raided and he had charges thrown on him. It happened twice. And so Swalwell, now listen to Victor David Hansen. And if you're not familiar with who he is a highly intelligent, he's a scholar. He is someone who's a scholar who I highly respect. And he's a Republican that lives in California, which I know is not as rare as you think it is. Come to find out, a little bit over 40% of the electorate in California is Republican. And you might say, well, how do all of these Democrats keep winning? Because in California, they have what you call a super Democrat delegate, where it is all pretty much Democrats in their state. They have so many Democrats as opposed to Republicans. I mean, when it comes to any votes, there's nothing that Republicans there in that state can do to filibuster. Nothing. They have a super majority. And that's why the redistricting thing is so big out there, because they've already gerrymandered the state so much where you got 40%, or a little bit over 40% of the state that votes Republican, but yet you only have 5 in the state. 5. And so it's just like in Maine where they have 0, or in New Hampshire where, listen, this thing is crazy. But listen to Victor David Hansen as he talks about Eric Swalwell and Fang Fang and his run-in with Fang Fang, even though you just heard Eric Swalwell on that clip with the Breakfast Club talk about how much of a nothing burger it was. Check this out.
Eric Swalwell, well, as I said, I wrote some critical things of China, and Fang Fang came to see me as a consular official out of the Bay Area. And I think she told me she was a political operative that monitored American politics. But when she walked in my office at the Hoover Institution, I kept the door open. I had one of my research people with me the whole time. And the way she changed accents and how she was dressed, you would have to be a stupid, narcissistic idiot to fall for that. I'm serious. In my case, it was, maybe he would say it's easier because I'm an old man, but my point was, it was about 10 or 12 years ago, and he fell for that. And he got involved with her when he was on the House Intelligence Committee. So end of story with that guy. He's anybody who would fall for her. Honeypot, it was just a joke. Anybody could see that. And Eric Swalwell,
there you heard it from him himself. She even came to his office and was going to try to do the 1-2 step to try to see if she could, do the what they call that, the horizontal mambo with maybe Victor David Hansen, but it didn't work. He saw right through it. She was a honeypot, and a honeypot is a spy or a woman in the government, or maybe even a man, that they use to sexually lure whoever their target is, and to get them in a compromised position. Just like we find out that James Comey sent 2 honeypots over to Trump, trying to get Trump to fall for the bait and get, come on to these ladies after they were flirting with him and making him feel like they wanted him. They sent 2 honeypots after Trump. Eric Swalwell was just the ignorant one that fell for it. Now, it gets even worse for Eric Swalwell, because on top of the fact that, you know, we got what happened with Fang Fang, and now he spent 360,000 taxpayer dollars on an immigrant Haitian for listed services that this man is not licensed for, that there's no record of. What's really going on the heels of what's exploding out in, I won't even tell you about that, because I'm about to do a video on what's taking place and what just came out as far as with the Democrats and George Soros. Wait till you catch that video. But check this out as a reporter catches up with Swalwell, and look at him embarrass this man. I want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of this video, Chapter. And here's why. When my mom hit 65 years old, I watched her get bombarded with mailers, cold calls, and all these confusing ads about Medicare. And every single company pretended like they wanted to help her, but really they were just trying to sell her stuff. It seemed like the game was rigged and she was not supposed to win at all. And that's why I'm so excited to share information about Chapter with all of you. Now, who Chapter is? Chapter is a free Medicare advisory service that compares Medicare plans available, and they give you real, unbiased guidance. Chapter is completely independent and always puts customers first. Their whole focus is all about making sure that their customers, the seniors, get the right Medicare plan. And it's clear that they're making a real difference in the lives of seniors. So if you want real, unbiased help with Medicare, give Chapter a call at 402-527-1253. You'll talk to a real person who will help you figure out exactly which plan is right for you, and has saved the average senior $1,000 a year. So I'm going to put the number here on the screen for you to be able to contact, or if you visit the website, go to askchapter.org/realpolitics.
Elon Musk as a fascist at some point and alluded to him being a national security threat. Do you see that more of a national security threat, you sleeping with a Chinese spy, than transparency in the federal government? What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that? What's Fang Fang think of that? What are you doing? I mean, what's fascistic about exposing government corruption? I mean, I know you're just at dinner now with a bunch of lobbyists. You know, they're buying you a bunch of booze, and you know that's awfully nice. I know you were talking about, you know, maybe finding somebody else because you only like to fuck people that are tens. I just heard that one too. So, what do you think about that? Do you want to comment on any of it? Elon Musk is a national security threat, but you sleeping with a Chinese spy is not. Is that correct? You don't want to comment on that at all? Looks like guilty as charged.
And you notice how Swalwell spoke about his wife. I honestly, in my opinion, this is all alleged. I think the only reason he got married was to cover up this whole, because he was with Fang Fang, and then, you know, she wasn't the last woman that he was with, but that backlash that blew between 2020 and 2024 was huge. It was so big that the Biden administration had to step in and do some investigation and say, oh, nothing there. But this man was on the House Intelligence Committee dealing with a spy from the CCP sleeping with this woman. And he wants us to believe that he wasn't compromised. No, he's compromised. But check this out, where the voters even let him know what time it was. He was trying to do a town hall and got blasted. Check this out.
Plainly about what the Dobbs decision does and what many of these states are doing with their 6-week bans. It's government-mandated pregnancies. Government-mandated pregnancies. We are against government-mandated pregnancies. Overwhelmingly, Americans want women to be able to do and make these decisions for themselves. So I'm for women and their freedom, and I think that's where we're ultimately going to end up.
These people are so deranged that they say they're celebrating a woman's right or freedom to abort a child, which has been going on for I don't know how long. So this isn't something new, but yet it's highly encouraged. Did you know that at the DNC convention last year, they literally have vasectomy and abortion buses out front, giving out free vasectomies and free, you know what? These folks are sick.
Just one other comment on that. Come on. Let's be respectful. Be respectful. Be respectful. Please, folks. Be respectful.
Well, you see, they called out Fang Fang and everything. Now, check this out. As Patel blasts Eric Swalwell, I mean, roast him harder than anybody else I've seen roast him when he was a witness at this committee hearing. Check this out.
Director, considering that you have identified these people as, quote, government gangsters, will you recuse yourself from making any investigation decisions about these individuals?
Anyone that has been terminated at the FBI has been done so
the
because
question
they failed
again,
to meet the muster and
Director,
the constitutional
I will
obligation.
work on the
No.
audio-visual capabilities.
I'm going to
of
borrow
Trump so
your
you can hear me.
terminology and call
I'm reclaiming
bullshit
my
on your
time.
entire career in
I'm
Congress.
reclaiming my
It has
time,
been a
Director.
disgrace to the American
Director, I'm
people.
reclaiming my
You
time.
can
No,
reclaim your
you
time all you
recuse
want.
yourself.
Mr. Chairman, you're going to allow a witness to speak, Mr. Chairman?
Director, consider that you identified.
So as you heard Cash Patel let him know, he said your entire career has been a joke. But here it is again. Swalwell is going to slap Americans in the face. Now wait till you hear what he says, and then I'm going to follow it up with what's really going on. And there's an investigation that's about to break out about this, not just with Swalwell, but with a lot of people in Congress. And it makes me wonder why Marjorie Taylor Greene is all of a sudden kind of doing she's acting like she's kind of siding with Democrats, and we know that's something that they would never do for us, when she's talking all this crap about the government and the Epstein files. What's up with her? But you know what I found out? The millions upon millions that even Marjorie Taylor Greene made since she entered Congress. So, we got to watch for people like her. I never would have thought that MTG would be a rhino. But I got to tell you, the actions that she's been taking, as a matter of fact, she's due to be a guest on The View. Now, The View does not have conservatives come up, but yet they've agreed to have MTG come up. It's kind of like the lady who ran against President Trump for president. Her name slips my mind right now. But remember, she was the Republican woman out of South Carolina. But yeah, Democrats was loving to support her. The View, all these people were supporting her against Trump, Nikki Haley. And then we find out why. She's a war hawk. She's no different than the Democrats at all, which is why they loved her. They wanted her because she is nothing but a war hawk. That's it. And so they got Marjorie Taylor Greene coming on. Makes you wonder. But check out what he's about to say. And then I'm going to show you some evidence that really may blow your mind. Check this out.
And I have stayed in the Congress because I've got 3 little kids. I've got $75,000 in student loan debt, and we have childcare, costs and issues.
You gotta fly across the country. You're not representing.
Right, but I figure by living those experiences, I can be an advocate for families who have student loan debt. And I have stayed.
To show you, now you heard him say, yeah, I stayed in Congress because, I really wanted to help those people. And he has $75,000 in student loan debt. But here's what he's not telling you about himself. Eric Swalwell also has a net worth of $14.9 million. So while he sits there on MSDNC trying to act like, the bleeding heart with his $75,000 debt, that's why he stayed in Congress. Or did he stay in Congress to help him keep on making these M's upon M's upon M's? Because when you work $14.9 million and you have a $75,000 debt and you're not paying it, that's just because you cheat. Now, let me show you this here. Some people say that's his Haitian, that's the Haitian man that he's been paying. Not really, but now look at this financial disclosure report. Let's look at this. So right here, we've got the financial disclosure report, and this one is from 8/3/23. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I want you to look at something. In Congress, they make $174,000 a year. You just heard this man say, I stayed in $75,000, want to relate to the people, child care. How are we going to afford that? While his net worth is $14.9 million. And even right here, let's just take 2023, just this one report. As you can see here in the income column, because it shows asset, Bank of America, $15,000 to $50,000 asset, California Public Employees Retirement System, he has between $1,000 to $15,000 net. Now, income, he was paid $1 million from Swalwell Remedy Group. It's funny how it has his name on it. Remedy Group paid him $1 million, but yet he hasn't paid off that student loan debt. And he feels the pain like the average person. No, he wants to stay in Congress because it's a way for him to easily continue, allegedly, to backdoor the system and get himself rich and his donors rich. That's what this is all about. So I wanted to bring you this report just to let it be known that this nutso sleazebag, Trump-hating, freaking spy sleeping with ignoramus is out here throwing stones at President Trump, all while he's paying Haitian immigrants absorbent amounts of taxpayer money on the heels of having sexual relationships with Chinese spies. But listen to this, what he says about Ukraine, and this will top it all off. Check this out.
If you look around the world, our biggest economic enemy is China. Our biggest geopolitical enemy is Russia. In a matter of 3 years, without losing a single U.S. soldier, we have decimated their military and their economy. It's been the greatest return on investment for any military expenditure ever. And as far as the return on investment for soldiers' lives, it's infinity, because you can't divide zero. If you look around.
So this man said that the Ukraine investment was the best return on investment we've seen. Folks, newsflash. If you don't know it, let me bring it to you. Do you realize that Russia could obliterate Ukraine in an hour if they wanted to? In an hour. But I believe that Putin knows it will look horrible on Russia if they just did that. So they play the game and do the ground thing to kind of make it, go toe to toe with, against them. But we all know Russia is a superpower. They could obliterate Ukraine. And so we actually need to, be paying attention to, this man, maybe, he's sparing something. Something's happening there that's keeping him from obliterating it. But Zelensky continued to try to push back against the Russian part of the country, the people in Ukraine that feel like they're Russians, their culture is still Russian. That's what Putin was wanting to take back, allegedly. I could be incorrect. You educate me if I am. But as far as on the other parts, you know what I'm saying? And even then, like situations like that, they get so deep. Who really knows what's going on? But for him to act like Ukraine was a great return on investment is bull crap. We've given them hundreds of millions of billions at this point of taxpayer dollars. And what do the American people have? The war's still going on, and President Trump is trying right now to stop it. And it started under the Biden regime with Democrat leadership, which showed Putin didn't have any respect for them whatsoever when he went into Ukraine. And so what did they do? They just kept giving money. When Zelensky has come out and said he didn't even know where half of the money went. Then come to find out that Ukraine is one of the most corrupt countries on the planet. Then that Hunter Biden was on the board of Burisma in Ukraine, and that Joe Biden went over there and threatened to withhold $1 billion of grant money unless Ukraine fired the special prosecutor that was investigating Burisma, in which Hunter Biden was on the board of, with no experience in energy, no political nothing. They put Hunter Biden on the board of Burisma. So again, these folks are nuts, but I wanted to bring you this story to let you know the Democrat Party is literally imploding, but the mainstream media don't want you to know that. So if you've hung out and watched it up to this point, I thank you from the top and bottom of my heart. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, hit that like button. And if you aren't subscribed, subscribe and leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Most importantly, I want you to stay safe and you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.